points to take Australia out of next week's final. Victories against Australia have been few and far between over the last 25 years, but when they have happened, invariably, it's been by a greater margin than 3 points. 2004 at Wigan, remember? 24-12, a 12-point margin. But as last week, Brian Noble says, the victory is important, the improvement in performance is important, and the scoreboard will take care of itself. But it is a night of destiny. Opportunity knocks for the Great Britain players who are here this evening. And there are plenty of fireworks expected on the field. There are Union Jacks all over the place. And tonight, Great Britain have the opportunity, and Gareth Rayner has the opportunity to write his name into the history books. Massive night for all these players of both nations, and it's a massive night also for 8-year-old Jamie Bell, who is the Great Britain mascot tonight. It's his 8th birthday, and he plays for the Charleston Knights under-8s here in Hull. A local star maybe for the Black and Whites in Super League in years to come. The presentation party making its way out to be introduced to the two teams. So as they shake hands with the performers, let us take a look at the way the two sides line up. Great Britain, they've had to make changes. Leon Price is now at fullback. Then they go Brian Carney, Martin Gleeson, Keith Senior, and Hull's Gareth Rayner on his debut. Iestyn Harris partners Richard Horne, also of Hull, at halfback. The forwards, it's Stuart Fielden, Kieran Cunningham and Adrian Morley. Jamie Peacock is the skipper alongside Paul Johnson, and Gareth Ellis is the loose forward. And on the bench, Mick Hyam, Chev Walker, Jamie Thackeray, the third member of the Hull FC squad, and Kevin Sinfield makes a return on the bench. The coach is Brian Noble. Now Australia, Minicello at fullback, Matt King, Mark Gasnier, Matt Cooper and Brent Tate, the three quarters. Trent Barrett at 6, there's no Darren Lockyer, and Craig Gower is at 7. But is he 100% fit? A question mark according to Chris Warren. Up front, Petero Sivanasiva, Danny Badeiras, who now captains the side, and Jason Riles, Luke O'Donnell and Craig Fitzgibbon, and Ben Kennedy is the loose forward. And Craig Wing, one of the substitutes wearing 14, he has damaged Great Britain's hopes in the past. Willie Mason, Mark O'Mealy and Trent Waterhouse complete the 17 for the Australian coach, Wayne Bennett. So, Australia against Great Britain. Stakes are always high, but stakes tonight just could not be higher. Who will win? Who will play in the Tri-Nations final next week? We'll find out in the 80 minutes that come ahead in front of this sellout crowd. First of all, though, the national anthems. First, the Australian national anthem, sung by Red. Must say some of those Australian players look absolutely frozen to the marrow. It's a very, very cold night here in Hull. Now the national anthem, Martin Toll is joined by Leslie Garrett. Well, I don't think you like that. But the British boys singing it with some gusto, and certainly the captain and coach giving it a little bit of stick as well. And I can tell you up here on the gantry leading us in song, as we see that we have a British referee tonight in Steve Ganson. Steve-o, you are in good voice during the national anthem.
Yeah, let's hope that the British boys are up to it tonight. I think they are. The confidence has been building over the past 3 weeks. And that wonderful win against the Kiwis last Saturday certainly has done no harm for their confidence. Brian Noble, as you mentioned at the build-up, Eddie, is that he got the run at the right time with the Bradford Bulls. Is he going to repeat that? I think he may today. And wouldn't it be absolutely ironic if we could get those 9 points ahead, win the game tonight, and actually send the green and golds packing on the next plane home?
80 minutes, history beckons for everybody out there. It's Great Britain against Australia. This is game 6 of the Tri-Nations, and we're underway. The boot of Craig Fitzgibbon. Easton Harris underneath the kickoff. Here is the first tackle on Adrian Morley, and the charge was led by Danny Badeiras. And you know, there is one man out there. There is the first mistake from Stuart Fielden. Under pressure from Luke O'Donnell, and Fielden dropping the ball.
Well, he just overran it, didn't he? He came a little bit too early there, and you could see the shock on the face of Kieran Cunningham. Brian Noble would not have liked that.
Icy fingers tonight, but that's no excuse.
Well, it wasn't a matter of that, Eddie. He overrun it. He'd gone too early.
Craig Gower fed the scrum. That was Barrett. He got the ball away here to Cooper, and Cooper tackle low down. Good tackling too by Martin Gleeson, finished off by Brian Carney. Here now is Sivanasiva for Australia. That's a big hit.
Is it ever?
Knock on by Sivanasiva, and Kieran Cunningham. Bang!
Well, he could see there, and I must say that is the first time I've seen an Australian prop stop before making the impact. He knew he was going to get hammered. He did not push his body through, and that's the reason why he lost control.
So Great Britain have a little bit of luck on their side, but now they have to get out of their own quarter. Before the mistake from Fielden, I was going to mention the man out there in orange tonight, Steve Ganson, who has almost sneaked onto the field. And I say that with the greatest possible respect. The first time that Britain have had a British official, John Keir, Steve Ganson could play a very important part in the match tonight.
He certainly could, yes. He refereed the first ever professional game here at the KC, Eddie, and he sent Jason Smith up after 38 seconds. He sent Adrian Morley up after 14 seconds in a Great Britain-Australia game, so he could play a very important part. I'm happy with the start that he's made there, with interference at the play of the ball and the British free kick.
Yes, penalty to Great Britain on halfway taken by Easton Harris.
The big plus for the British boys was the way that they stopped Sivanasiva. That was a great tackle, leading the way, Kieran Cunningham.
First penalty of the match. That's why Great Britain have this possession midway inside the Australians' half of the field, and that was Richard Horne who passed the ball in field to Stuart Fielden. Fielden this time hangs on. Kieran Cunningham at dummy half. The ball floats into the arms of Easton Harris. He now is the captain, Peacock, and he tries to spin away from the challenges. He's halted though about 18 metres away from the Aussie line. Cunningham will scamper and take the ball at the defence again. It was a short ball, and Gareth Ellis really with nowhere to go, but making good progress just the same.
Pretty good defending there by Jason Riles. Wasn't going to be sucked in by. They've gone the short side.
They have gone the short side. The ball comes back, and Carney has it. The ball did go backwards, and it's the last tackle here for Great Britain. They're just about 3 metres away from the line. It's a poor ball, though. On the bounce, it finds its way into the arms of Morley. Morley is trapped, loses the possession. Luke O'Donnell drops on it gratefully for Australia.
Big mistake by Britain there. It was a poor pass from Cunningham. They should have been putting the kick into the in-goal area. When you get into that position, you must make sure that you put pressure on the green and goals.
Badeiras, the dummy half. Ball comes in field to the prop forward, Jason Riles. Tackles flying in from Great Britain. Jamie Peacock, the skipper, leading the way. And this now is Craig Gower. Pops the ball up. That's a good hit by Gareth Ellis on his opposite number, Ben Kennedy. And Kennedy is hurt.
Well, 2 big hits, as Chris Warren mentioned before. And you can see there, Gareth Ellis knew that Gower was going to offload back on the inside. And Ellis was screaming at him and said, that's a big one, there's more to come.
Kennedy gingerly gets to his feet. Ian Millwood still confident.
It's only very early, Eddie, and I've got to say early at this stage, 3 minutes, 3 drop balls. That's the sign of the physicality in the game, but also the tension and the mental that's taking Australia. They don't want to not be in the final next week. And Great Britain, they feel they're building momentum. They need to go in there next week to give that credibility to the game over here.
10 metres inside the British half of the field. Badiris gets to his feet, plays the ball to Gower. The ball goes airborne. And this is a first test for Leon Price. And Minicello was up above him, but the ball was knocked forward. And the referee wipes the tackle count down. That's the 0 tackle.
Great play by Minicello. Went for the ball, no doubt about that. And you can see that it was a bit of a problem for Leon Price.
Penalty here. Gareth Rayner's legs up and down all the time, trying to get to his feet. Great roar when Rayner got the ball.
There's a general opinion in Super League that the dominant tackle isn't adhered to as much as the Australian game. And it's a feeling of Stuart Cummings, the referee. He wants the dominant tackle to be more in the English game. Now, Ganson, is he going to police it like Super League? Is he going to police it like Australia? And the Australians, when they are strong in a tackle, want the dominant tackle. And that's why we might see penalties.
Well, Steve Ganson was the official in charge of Australia-New Zealand the first 2 matches of this Tri-Nations.
Yeah, and I must say, Eddie, I get the impression that that Ganson will referee exactly the same as he did for the Challenge Cup final against Hull and Leeds. He let anything go on in the play-the-ball area. He made them get back the 10. That means we're going to get a good game.
Well, so far we've had 2 penalties, and that's a poor ball from Leon Price looking for Keith Senior. Senior was not waiting for that at all.
Well, again, the golden opportunity. Nothing wrong with the pass. You can see there that Senior just had a little glance.
Another ball.
With the defender coming to him.
Different ball.
A gash on the top of the head. Well,
referee wants another football. Not happy with the quality of that one. As for a second ball, it's arrived.
Same for you boys. No hands in.
Yeah, I think Eddie, it shows how anxious the players actually are. And that there's been great defence, but the handling skills haven't been up to scratch. And I think that's the anxiety that's showing and is imminent because of the nature of the occasion.
Important tackle there by Kieran Cunningham. Brent Tate had escaped the net from 2 British players. Here now is Gower. That thigh is heavily strapped. Harris and Ellis, good tackling by them on Trent Barrett. Gower again from dummy half. Ball then to Craig Fitzgibbon.
Problem with the strap leg for Craig Gower is that will he make much impact taking them on? It at the moment he's just taking first receiver and offloading.
Jason Riles dumped on his back by a combination tackle of Morley and Cunningham. Here now is Gower again. Ball comes this way, finds Luke O'Donnell, and Great Britain muscling up in defence. That's tackle number 5.
Certainly not right, Craig Gower. There is a problem with that leg.
Gasnier was the dummy half. It found its way to Gower. The tactics obvious. They're going to test out Leon Price, and he comes up with the goods. That's the second one. The first one was knocked out of his hands by Minicello. The second one, clean as a whistle.
Settle the nerves down there. A little bit dodgy the first time they put the high bomb. Tactics from Wayne Bennett, the Australian coach. Quite obvious, giving plenty of air.
Gareth Ellis driving the ball forward for Great Britain. Missed Australia 2 weeks ago. Returned against New Zealand last week. Paul Johnson has been there from day one. Cunningham back on the international scene this year. Here now Peacock away from one. Can't get away from Badiris, Sivanasiva or Jason Riles.
Got to be a good kick.
Nice tackle here.
Got to turn the Australians around.
Well, it's a grubber kick through, and Richard Horne was after it, but it bobbles its way into the arms of Mark Gasnier, nephew of the great Reg Gasnier, of course. And here is Anthony Minicello, and the tackle by Martin Gleeson. That's the way it stands at the moment, and the percentages will be important. Maybe if the margin of victory for Great Britain tonight is 8 points. But here come the Aussies with Gower. There are all sorts of permutations how one nation or another will get to the Tri-Nations final next Saturday, but the most important thing is Great Britain have to win. They have to beat Australia by 3 points. New Zealand go out. They have to win by 9 or more. The Aussies go out. That's a great kick. It's knocked forward though. It's going to be a knock on, and he was airborne. Matt King and Steve-O, the tactics from Wayne Bennett give the ball plenty of air here.
Yeah, quite obvious indeed. And why not? Wayne Bennett is fully aware of the fact that the winger Brian Carney, he had a bit of a nightmare against the Kiwis in the first game. Certainly made up for that with 2 wonderful tries last week and a very solid performance against the Australians at Wigan. Maybe they'll have to change that tactic, so that could be a penalty. And
well, Barrett didn't seem to be standing square.
Well, he wasn't.
This is Peacock. Gets as far as Luke O'Donnell. 2 great second row forwards there tangling. And just a quick mention about Ian Slater, a second row forward with Pilkington Rex in St Helens and Rainford High School. He's 15 years of age. He's in Wiston Hospital. Good wishes. He's watching this match tonight in hospital. Good wishes from one of his mentors, the former Great Britain scrum half Neil Holding, and of course all of us at Sky Sports. And he will be encouraged, as we all are, by that chase from the kick. But they've got to get hold of this fella, the centre Matt Cooper, the winger rather, Brent Tate.
They've certainly got the pace out wide of the Australians, and they know it. They'll give it plenty of air, but that was a good kick and chase by Great Britain. It's so important. They've got to make sure they keep turning the green and golds around.
Luke O'Donnell again. He's turned over by Johnson and Fielden. That was Badiris, and the pass was brilliantly picked up one-handed by Trent Barrett. That's the last tackle.
Problem for Peacock.
Yes, Peacock is hobbling as this ball is knocked through, and Leon Price picks it up. Now, this is where Leon Price can be so dangerous. See a gap, and he has the pace to go through it, but not on that occasion. 10 minutes gone, 0-0 here at the KEC Stadium. Brian Carney, once upon a time of Hull, who'll be playing with the Newcastle Knights next year. Kieran Cunningham goes right and finds Gareth Ellis, who saw a hole, went for it. Great offload. Martin Gleeson will continue the movement. He gets the ball in field to Paul Johnson. Johnson gets it away to Keith Senior. Now it's Gareth Rayner. Rayner evades one. Gets away from Sivan Asiva. Can't get away, though, from Ben Kennedy.
Good play from Rayner. Not only that, the fact that he jinking run, but he got the ball away quickly, played it very sharp. Got to try to make sure that they catch the Australian first and second markers at that play the ball.
Here's another penalty.
I'll take the 2 here.
Well, points will be priceless tonight.
You've got to get out and up at the front. Get out the side. Straighten it up.
Was it superb work, though, Eddie, by Gareth Rayner there? Getting the quick play the ball, as Steve Boy pointed out, and then Richard Horne just picked up from dummy half, and it had the Australians on the back foot. They're trying to buy a bit of time, messing about in the tackle, spinning on Richard Horne, and it's a penalty, and there's Brian Noble's indication.
Well, it's a big stadium, this, and I don't know whether all the players, if they look up at the stands, they could actually pick out Brian Noble and the 2 fingers raised. But Justin Harris with the opportunity here to try and get the scoreboard ticking. It's kickable, and it is 2 points for Justin Harris and 2 points for Great Britain. Great Britain 2, Australia 0. It just might settle things down.
Oh, it's the thing to do in an international game like that, and I think the Australians are fully aware now that this is not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a tough number. The impact has been good. The British forwards have been getting over the advantage line. Leading the way yet again is Kieran Cunningham. I must say that when you indicated, Eddie, that he is a long way away from it, but he wouldn't be indicating the 2 points to the players. He would be indicating to the bench on the sidelines.
Steve-O, isn't it important to Great Britain, but they have breaks in play and they have plenty of penalties, because their strength is in their front row of Cunningham, Morley and Fielden, and they need to keep that intensity and that ferocity they've got, because when they get replaced, they do lose intensity in that area.
Without a doubt.
2-0, and if it stays 2-0, this is the way it will look. And it's not enough. Australia and New Zealand will make it through on the points of percentage. And look at the percentage that is in Australia and New Zealand's favour. We'll try and keep you up to date all the time on this. But I tell you what, Great Britain cannot afford to make mistakes like that deep in their own half. That's the second knock-on early in the tackle count in this match already. It's only 13 minutes old.
Well, it's a sin to be able to do that. Not only was it a knock-on, it was a forward pass as well.
Gasnier stands in the tackle, gets the ball away, and this is Matt Cooper.
Hold, go.
And now a drive in by Craig Fitzgibbon, winning his 15th cap for Australia tonight. Badiris the captain. This is Jason Riles. That's 3 tackles weathered by Great Britain, but the Aussies are 5 metres away from their line. And it's with Craig Gower, who spins the ball wide. It's with Barrett, and here is Minicello chiming in. A good tackle by Richard Horne.
Well, it's a double run around using the dummy runner exceptionally well.
Luke O'Donnell, he gets the ball away. Here is the wingman, Brent Tate. And Tate is tackled by Adrian Morley. It's Gasnier. This is the last tackle. This will be a great confidence lift for Great Britain if they hang out. It's a great kick, though. Now, who knocked that ball dead?
It looked like Carney to me. No.
20-metre restart, says the referee.
20.
Was it touched by the winger?
Okay.
Well, that looked like Carney got a hand to it to me. Very fortunate indeed.
Quicker, Jace.
Matt King went high.
Signal and call.
Well, that's one for Great Britain.
We're happy with that, Eddie, yes.
Second.
But isn't it interesting that Wayne Bennett, in the previous game between Great Britain and Australia, he didn't bomb Brian Carney at all. But tonight his intentions of playing that every time on the last tackle, Brian Carney's going to get the high kick and plenty of pressure from the wingman King.
Well, these mistakes, Ian, are piling up for Great Britain, and they could pay soon.
Just hold the phone here for a minute, Eddie. Because you know, the field position is so vital because we've got a little bit of a slippery ground. The ball's going to get slippery. Field position is vital. If Australia get enough field position and enough ball, they'll win. They're like a toothache at the moment. They're chipping away.
Yes, they won't go away, will they? And they're tackling and examining this Great Britain defence all the time. That was Matt King, who was convinced he had won a goal line dropout for his team, but didn't matter. They got the ball back on the knock-on from Fielden again, and the winger tries to stab the ball through Brent Tate, but it's picked up by Mark Gasnier. And the tackle count continues because the ball played the man, not the other way round.
Big problem for Britain. They are hanging back. Look, you can see they're waiting to see what the Australians are going to do. And if they don't get moved in very quick, well, they'll take the two, will they? Yeah, they should do.
Twice up there, mate, and you're still doing 3 yards.
Be any doubt about this? They'll square things up. Well, we spoke about the British building in confidence in the opening 10 minutes. And I must say that Australia, the way that they're keeping this ball alive, we knew, Ian Millwood, that they would perhaps pick our centres out. When you look at Gasnier and Cooper, they are quality, aren't they, on the Australians?
They are, and they need good go forward. As much as Great Britain are renowned for their great go forward at the moment, Australians will be very pleased at the moment, Steve. They just want to compete in the early rounds, box away, because they know they've got the knockout punches with your Gasniers and Coopers, especially in the back end of each half.
Well, he doesn't miss opportunities like that. Craig Fitzgibbon went through the 100-point barrier for his country 2 weeks ago with 4 from 5 goals against Great Britain, and now it's 2 points apiece.
Eddie, I think the reason why they're kicking to Carney, what the Australians are doing, they're kicking to the long side, and they're opening and isolating the open side winger. If you find that they get caught on a short side on the other side, they'll do the same to Rayner. They're trying to isolate the winger, which they've got King and Tate, are very much taller than the two Great Britain wingers, and that's where they're trying to jump them one-on-one.
Justin Harris restarts. Scores are now level after 16 3/4 minutes, and Craig Gower is the man underneath the kickoff, hammered by Stuart Fielden, and Adrian Morley not far behind either. This now is Sivanasiva. Takes it up as far as Paul Johnson. Richard Horne in there also helping out with the tackle. Badiris, short pass to Fitzgibbon, and Horne and Cunningham, the tacklers. Badiris again, ball in field. Riles, that's a big hit by Stuart Fielden.
This will be the link now from the Australians. Watch for the big sweep to the left.
It's with Barrett, and it goes to Gower, and then wide again it goes to Minicello. And the ball is knocked forward into Gareth Ellis's hands, and Ellis stands, thinks about the offload, takes the tackle. Here is Brian Carney, and Carney gets away from Badiris' dive, but O'Donnell gets to him. Cunningham waits the dummy half. He finds Justin Harris. Harris then on the inside to Fielden. Fielden gets the ball away. Leon Price. Riles doesn't make the tackle. Badiris does. Flop. And he's penalised for the flop. I think that's a bit unkind because the man was free. The tackle was not completed. And Badiris finished him off. Look.
God, that's an ordinary decision.
Yeah, it is. It's a poor decision by Steve Ganson. Won't be accepted. Not surprisingly, Britain will say, well, we'll take possession, kick it into the corner.
Now, Richard Horne, little drop of the shoulder as he does so often here in the black and white of Hull on this ground. The penalty count is mounting against the Australians. This is Johnson. Good run from Paul Johnson.
We've got to run the angles here. We've got to do something different. If Cunningham's going across, then bring someone back on the inside.
Cunningham's going on his own! So close!
Yeah.
Inches away, Fielden. And Fielden stands. They force him back a couple of metres, but not much. That's tackle number 4, 2 remaining here. Cunningham, will he pinch one? No. The ball goes into the arms of Horn. He spins it wide to Harris. Harris then further wide to Gleeson. Good defence. Great defence.
Cooper was a beautiful low tackle.
This is Gareth Ellis. Now to Horn. Slides the kick through. Great kick too from Horn, but just too deep. Minicello, with all the experience there, just allowing the ball to run dead in goal.
Just panicked a little bit, did Britain there. They should have composed themselves, got into a good position. You can see there that the kick from Richard Horn just sort of dabbed it.
Well, the other one, Steve, it's kicked on the 4th tackle as well.
Yeah.
But how close did Cunningham go there? Just inches away.
Yes, just needed a little bit of a longer arm, and Great Britain would have had the 4 points. But here is Gower, just inside their own half of the field now with Kennedy. He gets them over the halfway line. Wrestled to the ground on tackle number 3. And it's with Jason Riles, who'll drive it in as far as Cunningham again. Cunningham just steps over the grounded player, gets in his position at marker. It's with Gower. And Gower then, the ball finding its way eventually to Luke O'Donnell. Minicello is at dummy half. Here is Gower, and there's the kick again. It's another tester for Brian Carney. And the ball was spilled and backwards, and Matt Cooper picks the ball up and will touch down for Australia.
No doubt about it, he'll go for the screen just to see if he's on offside, but whoever touched it first.
Referee wants the video referee to check a possible knock-on by Australia. But Brian Carney is being peppered tonight.
Well, we knew he would. Don't worry, there'll be plenty for the opposite. Gareth Rayner doing this game. He's onside there, no doubt about it. The kicker is 2 metres over that dissected line. See there that Gleeson, not the best attempt to apply the pressure on Matt King. That was tipped back. This will be a try to Cooper, no doubts in my mind. See how it goes backwards there. And that, he's in front, is King, the winger. And Australia have scored the first try of this game. Little doubt that this is going to be TRY.
Every coach is measly, Steve Owen. You know what the measly thing is? They'd be saying, why didn't you bring it around underneath the post? There was no one behind there. If you're Australian, you said, let's turn it into 6.
I think they'll be happy with the TRY.
And the try is given. Australia hit the front. Ryan Noble just looking a little rueful there, but I don't think the video referee could possibly deny Matt Cooper the try. That's try number 7 of his international career. This is only his 5th cap.
Talking of 7, this is the 7th occasion they've given him plenty of air. That was great work there by Matt King. Good support by Cooper, but you can see there that the weight and the height of Matt King, he got the elbow right into the face of Brian Carney, who was on his way down when King was going up.
So the try given, and Craig Fitzgibbon here, about 3-4 metres from the far touchline. But this bloke can kick a goal, there's no doubt about that. The 28-year-old from the Sydney Roosters. I told you, great kick from Craig Fitzgibbon. And Australia lead by 8 points to 2. And that is not good from a British point of view. Matt Cooper with the try. Fitzgibbon has added the extras. And Matt Cooper, remarkable record, tries in all of his test appearances so far, including 2 against Great Britain at Wigan 2 weeks ago.
Well, it didn't surprise me, Eddie, because of the 2 sides, apart from the first 10 minutes when it was a bit of an arm wrestle, both sides making errors, is the fact that they seem to get into gear a lot quicker, did the Australians. They look far more comfortable with the football.
And you can't miss tackles on people like Anthony Minicello.
I think it's very interesting as well, Eddie, that they really are working over the British left-hand side before putting that big kick into Brian Carney. And Richard Horn and Keith Senior having a lot of work to do defending down the British left, where the Australians are obviously playing towards Gasnier.
Well, messing around at the play of the ball by Paul Johnson.
Hands off the ball.
It's same for both sides, according to Steve Ganson. This is Riles.
Hold.
And Badiris, the dummy half. with Craig Gower. Now O'Donnell looking to try and offload, has to take the tackle. But a little bit ominously, they are deep inside Great Britain territory. Oh, that was an important grab by Stuart Fielden on Ben Kennedy. Oh, they've loaded up down that side. Wonderful run coming in.
Great tackle from
Minicello.
It had to be as well, and he was a try saver.
And they've got men on the overlap wide here. Australia, if they can get a ball out to them. Not the best pass into the arms of Brent Tate, but he still manages to keep it alive. And it's Badiris, and another kick towards Carney, but that's not the best kick. And Carney gathers it in gratefully for Great Britain. Gets as far as, I was going to say as far as Barrett, but he got away from him and got as far then as Matt Cooper.
Again, we see the silky skills from the Australian three-quarters. So eager to keep it alive. Oh, that's good work from the marker. He's really impressed with this fella, Matt King.
It's with Peacock, and Britain really need to get the ball at the other end of the field just to give themselves some relief here, but there are 3 tackles gone already. Morley just showed it. That's 4 gone, only 28 metres made forward. Leon Price from dummy half. They're not at halfway yet.
The big problem also for Great Britain is the fact that the offloads are very low. A lot of hard work in the forwards getting into the advantage line, but the second phase, the support play is poor.
The kick from Justin Harris was fielded by Matt King, and he was then tackled by Kieran Cunningham. Australia, it's exactly 27 years since they last meet out in an international series. 1978, the French beat them 13-10 and then 11-10 in a 2-test series across the channel. Since then, their record at international level has been absolutely unblemished, and these players don't want to go home as being the team in green and gold to miss out on an international final. And they're playing like they don't want to miss out on it either. This is Ben Kennedy.
Well, adding to the British woes is the fact that Ben Kennedy is working out in amongst the centres. We know the ability of him being able to offload.
Leon Price willingly carrying the ball back, halted by Matt Cooper. This is Justin Harris.
Well, Fitzgibbon wasn't standing
that's a
square.
penalty.
Yeah.
Well,
he should have got him the first time. Steve Ganson.
And the referee now wants a word with the Australian skipper, Danny Badiris.
It certainly was a second attempt. It should have been snapped when he wasn't standing square.
Okay, I'll watch for that. Mate, he won the tackle. He's got to be out the side and let him get on with it. There was 2 efforts.
The official
Next one, I'll be forced to take action. No, he didn't surrender.
Likes to have a little chat, does this fella Ganson, to all the players.
Well, he's told the Australian skipper next penalty, and he might be forced to take action. You might have heard him there again. Great Britain battling on here without their skipper for the time being. It's Adrian Morley. Jamie Peacock is watching at the moment from the sideline as the pass bobbles its way, luckily, into the arms of Gareth Rayner. Gareth Rayner will straighten it up now. To be fair, the form wingers in the Super League competition this year, Aidy Gardner, Mark Calderwood, and this man here, Gareth Rayner. And Sinfield is the man who replaces Peacock. And this now Chev Walker, who's had a big series off the bench.
Britain have got to just make sure that if they're going to do a link...
penalised again then. This is Harris skipping his way through the tackles.
Just getting to that point, Eddie. Get it out of the ruck area with 2 long passes. Don't have to go through pairs of hands, miss people out.
Cunningham, poor ball again, bounced in front of the man. Senior retains possession for Great Britain. Tries to dab the ball down the line. Did it come off Australia? I think it did, but the ball, I think, played the man. Okay. Not the other way around.
Not about effort there. No doubt about it that Gaznier didn't make any attempt at it.
So that's the turnover on the 10-metre mark.
But that's the type of thing that we need, John Keane, in regards to, getting away from the ruck. We know that Justin Harris is... Oh, what a tackle! What a tackle there!
Fantastic by Morley.
Morley just took him apart.
The referee says play on. There was a knock on either way, but the referee said play on. And Britain have the momentum. It's Harris. And Harris takes the tackle from Gower. Cunningham waits at dummy half. Cunningham trying to pinch one. Flicks the ball away. It finds its way to Sinfield eventually, and then to Fielden. But Britain just lost momentum.
Wonderful play from Trent Barrett there. He really put himself about. That'll be a penalty.
It will be, and Trent Barrett should be in the bin.
complete in the sin bin. Tackle's complete, go to the sin bin. You've got to let him get on with it, go.
Well, I don't know how moving the ball from the ruck, Steve, but we need more of that defence. Sensational tackle. It shook the stand, didn't it?
This is why Barrett's in the sin bin.
Yeah, messing about once again. That's the third time already out of the 6 penalties the Australians have conceded. 3 have been for interference. Look at that.
Bang.
O'Donnell didn't half feel that one. It isn't as though he doesn't know anything about him. Morley plies his trade down in Australia, and that was one big hit.
What about this decision? Australia down to 12, penalty in front of the sticks. I know points are important, Ian.
I think field position's important. I think the other thing, they're down to 12 men, and they would have had to come up with their 3rd set. I think the more positive way, take the tap, keep at them.
I'm with you. I would have gone at it. One man down, and a little bit there'll be confusion running through the side. And now they've got a little bit of time for a bit of composure and also a substitution.
Well, they're walking up out there, they're walking to the kick-off. The Australians are just killing a bit of time. As you say, Steve, they're composing themselves, and it would have been better, I feel, at that point in time, just to tap it, play quick, keep the tempo high, and go at the 12 men, because we haven't had much field position at all.
What a fabulous tackle, though, by that man, Adrian Morley. And they're taking an eternity here, the Australians, to get the game restarted. There must have been almost half a minute here since the ball's been over the top of the crossbar. That's good work from the Aussies, to be fair. Now then, Morley, well, he's full of it suddenly, isn't he? Carney waits. Great Britain with a 1-man advantage. A Chef Walker gets as far as O'Donnell.
Well, Eddie, do you know what I'd do with this 1-man advantage? I'd bring Thackeray on as well to shake him up a little.
Another bad call. Brian Carney eventually goes down.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to bring Mickey Hyam out.
There he is. Hyam is on.
That's the way to do it.
And this is fielded. And there's Trent Barrett in the Australian dressing room, just staying warm because it's a bitterly cold night here at the KC Stadium. Justin Harris, kick has to be good. Not the best.
Shock.
Not the best from Justin Harris.
You must compliment the Australians, though, Eddie. They're 12 men, and that defensive set was absolutely first class. It restricted Great Britain's go forward, they pressured the kicker, and that was the reward, a turnover 35 metres away from their own line.
This is Minicello. Half an hour of the Tri-Nations Game 6 gone. 8-4 Australia ahead. And this now is a very important phase of the game. And Marco Mealy is on. The Tri-Nations final next Saturday. And we still don't know who's going to be there. Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand, all hoping that they will be at Ellen Road this time next week in the final. The dummy half was Brent Tate. And again, it's monotonous. But Carney, safe this time under no pressure. And space ahead of him. Great run.
Good job, Gower got to it. That was a poor kick from Australia. It was a shocker.
Leon Price, ball in field to Kevin Sinfield. Sinfield, the offload to Mickey Hyam. And Mickey Hyam flicks it back to Carney again. Carney up the middle. Great offload from him to Justin Harris. Adventure from Great Britain.
Good old-fashioned rugby league football. That's all we need from the British boys, and that's what they're doing. Great work there from Price.
Wonderful run, only as far as O'Donnell. Jamie Thackeray comes on for Stuart Field, and here he is. First touch, and a secure touch as well. Mickey Hyam, they come left with Richard Horne, and Horne's kick looking for Rayner. And there's pressure there, it's a repeat set of 6. Minicello fumbled it, and a great kick from Horne, and his teammate, Gareth Rayner, he read the script.
That's all he was needed. Common sense, no panic on that occasion.
Ball through away.
They've been doing this all year for you, John.
They certainly have, yeah. It's a whole players, that one, isn't it? And it's one of the best in the business, you know, Gaz Rayner, with his kick chase. Look at the urgency there, and then look how well he completes the tackle, and he earns his team another set of 6 tackles. I'm sure Coach Brian Noble will be very happy with that.
Well, Gareth Rayner has not played since the 1st of October, and this is only Richard Horne's second match since that day as well. A fateful day for Hull in the Super League campaign when they lost the playoffs at Odsal. Sorry to remind you about that, John, but I'm afraid it's etched in everybody's mind. This now is Chev Walker, and Walker gets the ball away. It's Mickey Hyam. Mickey Hyam! Beautiful run! They have the man on the overlap wide. It's Carney, who will score with great strength. Brian Carney. Wonderful run from Mickey Hyam, set it up. They had the man out wide, the overlap. It was 2-on-1, and Carney banged off one challenge and plonked the ball down over the line.
Make advantage when the Australians are one man down. That's what you've got to do, is to keep it alive. It all came about from the second set of 6. Hall puts a kick in to his teammate from Hull, Gareth Rayner, and from this position they kept it alive. We haven't seen this yet, and then they start on with it. Look at this, Mickey Hyam. That's the reason why Brian Noble brought this fella on. Perfect. Missed out Gleeson, but what about the upper body strength from Carney? The stepping run from Hyam is nothing short of outstanding. Sucks in Matt King. Kennedy got to him. He had one shot, he hit the brick wall, and Carney said, I'll take the 5.
Or the 4. Let's hope it turns into 6.
Yeah. I'm not excited.
Take a tablet. Yestin Harris with an important conversion, but it's missed. But Brian Carney, great upper body strength to beat off Ben Kennedy's challenge, and the scores are level. But Ian Millwood, what about the run from Mickey Hyam?
Yeah, if you're a Wigan fan, you're getting real excited, aren't you? But it was great to see him be direct. It's interesting with the Great Britain team. They've had a lot of criticism about their halves not being direct and going too much sideways. It's probably last week was their best game for being direct and taking on the New Zealand forwards. I still think Australia have been much better with Barrett and Gower. Now that Barrett's off, it's interesting to see how Australia will play it. But all the breaks for Great Britain are coming around the ruck area. Australia look a little bit tired because they haven't had much possession at the moment. That's why offloads are coming also.
This is Adrian Morley. All square here. What does it mean? Not much in terms of Great Britain's chances. It's exactly as we were at the kickoff. Britain, with a draw, would be out. Percentages are just altering as the course of the game progresses. But the important thing is points, first of all. Let's get the win and then worry about the difference.
I think the most important factor is that they conceded a try to Great Britain. Cooper, it was a good try, good work from Matt King. But they just knuckled down. OK, Australia down to 12. But you've got to take advantage of it, and it was for the first time during this game that Britain has started to offload.
He's gone for a 40-20 here, Yestin Harris. He's gone for the 40-20.
He's gone.
He has gone.
Oh, no.
Now can they get the repeat set of 6, Britain? No, they can't. That's wonderful play from Minichiello. It was a fantastic chase on the kick, by the way. Now can they get him over the line? Well, they're doing their best.
Tremendous
it was
stuff.
A fabulous kick, that from Harris. Minichiello did so well.
Great to see wonderful football from both sides. And now they're applying the pressure. So I must say that Australia, they're hanging on.
It's Gower. Oh, wonderful pass, brilliantly picked up. And away they go in the shape of Brent Tate. Not tackled yet. Senior gets to him, but look at the ground the Australians have made.
It's on the last now. Oh, and he's given the penalty. That's a silly penalty indeed. Good job that Leon Price put his body on the line.
They've asked the question to the Australian, was that a foul? Where they slowed the game down? Or should a bloke gone the bin?
Well, this was wonderful kick, wasn't it? But Minichiello equal to the task. How on earth did he get back into it? This just shows you the quality of the Australians. They're not frightened to start an attack from deep within on their own line. You can see there that Leon Price, it wasn't a deliberate trip, it certainly caught him. It was enough to pull him off, and then Keith Senior has enough more to...
Well, Gareth Rayner went for the interception, and it didn't come off, and it was nearly a very expensive miss. But Australia with the penalty, and they've weathered the storm, and now they're having a dig here with Craig Wing, who has been so influential for Australia against Great Britain in the past. He has caused some damage. So has this fella Gower. He gets the ball away to Fitzgibbon, and he's lost it.
I don't know. He's got a hand on it.
Great tackle, Leon Price. For my money, Steve-O, he's lost the ball on the line, trying to put it down. And that's a great full-back's tackle.
And checking obstruction as well. He's looking for an obstruction. He won, Craig.
Has he got control of it? Let's see.
Oh, yes.
In the middle, he wants to look for an obstruction.
Yeah,
well,
it's a forearm.
I think that's a try, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he had red, white and blue glasses on there, Eddie.
I think you've got to give that.
Well, on that way, maybe not. No, well.
Video referee Dave Campbell. I've seen them give, and I'll put it this way.
I think there is
my heart says no.
Yeah.
My wallet says no. Does the referee, the video one that is, Dave Campbell?
It's a marvellous effort by Price, Steve-O, but
underneath him.
I'm with you. Heart says no, but my head says that's a try.
I don't have to say a thing, because if you English are saying it's a try, I don't have to jump in at all.
Well, it doesn't matter what we say up here. It's what David Campbell, the video referee, has to say. And remember, a couple of years ago, when Great Britain appeared to have the game in the bag, they had a 12-point advantage just before half-time. This fella came up with a very important score there.
Eddie, he has to have full control in a downward pressure, and I don't think he has, looking at that one. I think he's lost it. This is going to be no try.
Well, Wayne Bennett has seen it all. He will be 56 years young on New Year's Day this year. 18 years with the Brisbane Broncos.
Willie!
Well, no try.
Well, perhaps any of my glasses were right. Red, white, blue glasses worked out well.
Second, hold, Luke, hold.
Well, okay. No try it is.
I think on that head-on shot, I think you'd have to say that, according to the rules, as I mentioned, he has to have full control, and he didn't.
Another 40-20 attempt by Easton Harris, but it skips inside and away from Anthony Minichiello.
From an Australian point of view, Eddie, Australians will be absolutely tickled pink at the moment of only conceding one try and nearly going close there because they're a man down and they've had no possession. They can go in at 8-all. I think they're in a good state.
Well, he's waiting to be given the nod to come back on, Trent Barrett. Meanwhile, this is Mark O'Mealy. And good job that Chef Walker got to him. Wing and Willie Mason. Willie Mason, he's only made 9 appearances this year for his club. Injured on the way home in America last season. Gower takes the tackle from Morley. Tackle number 5, looking for a penalty. Oh, Mr. Ganson thought about it for a moment. And there's the kick off the outside of the boot. Here's a tester for Gareth Rayner.
What a take. Did well. Did it ever. He was dipping all the time. Put his body on the line. That's what you need. He's had a pretty good debut as this fella. Look at that. Boom. Make sure he kept in the field of play.
This is Johnson now for Great Britain.
There's a problem in back play, Eddie, as well, with Chev Walker, which would compound things a little with Peacock already carrying injury, because he's out there as a second rower and he really is struggling.
Yes, he looks in a bit of pain as Thackeray drives it forward, but coughs the possession up to O'Mealy. And here now is Ben Kennedy. Kennedy, oh, not a best pass. Couldn't get hold of it, Great Britain. It bobbled and bounced its way out there, and it was Matt King who was the first to react. This is Cooper. 10 metres inside the British half of the field. Entering the last minute, danger zone for Great Britain. Remember what happened at Wigan a fortnight ago when they conceded so many points in the last moments of the match. As Gower switches the direction of the attack, this is Kennedy. And Kennedy is grounded by Adrian Morley. Plays the ball to Craig Wing. Craig Wing, brilliant play. Ball back on the inside, it's Gasnier. And Gasnier takes tackle number 4. But all the time they're inching closer to the British line. Wing out to Barrett. Here is Minichiello. Minichiello. And O'Mealy somehow kept hold. Somehow Mark O'Mealy kept hold of that ball. There was an element maybe of a forward pass, but the referee looked at the touch judge, got no assistance there, and is then forced to give the try because you cannot go to a video referee for a forward pass. But the ball looked as though it had drifted forward. But what a take by Mark O'Mealy.
Was it ever? This is the mistake. Thackeray going into the defender with a ball carrying arm. It's always a risk that you take. And talk about risk. Minichiello just threw it anywhere in the hope. O'Mealy says, I'll take it. But it was all brought about as well. Good work by Craig Wing.
Not offside, not a forward pass either, by the
not
way.
whatsoever on that angle. But talk about basketball touch. Look at the set back on the side here, Minicello. Great work from Barrett. Finished off by the substitute.
Mark O'Mealy with the try. Second try of his international career. What is it about Great Britain and the last few seconds of either a half or a match when they're facing the green and gold? What's the problem?
There's a carbon copy there, Eddie. 2 weeks ago, Lockyer back on this side to Minicello, try. Barrett, photographic memory, he picked out the Great Britain forwards, same consequences.
Fitzgibbon then to give the Australians a 6-point advantage to take with them into the half-time dressing room. You would back Fitzgibbon to kick this. He's already kicked one off the touchline. And nonchalantly just sweeps the ball over with the sidestep. There's the siren. Great Britain 8, Australia 14 at half-time. Mark O'Mealy, a substitute against Great Britain 2 weeks ago in Wigan. Started against France last week. Only 14 appearances in the NRL, but a telling contribution here at the KC Stadium in the city of Kingston upon Hull. Right on the stroke of half-time, O'Mealy called for the pass, got the 4, and the Aussies lead by 6 at half-time. The Tri-Nations final next Saturday, 5:30, live, Sky Sports 1. Who will be there? Great Britain, Australia or New Zealand? They're all in with a shout, even at this stage. And coming up tomorrow morning, live motor racing with coverage of the A1 Grand Prix from Malaysia. That's at 5 a.m, Sky Sports 3, plus highlights later at noon and at 7. Great Britain emerge for the second half, and if you're superstitious, and you like your omens and you like your statistics, in the previous test matches played on this ground, the team leading at half-time has gone on to lose the match. So there's one for us all to conjure and think about over the next 40 minutes.
Well, who knows, Eddie, it's not going to be easy for the British boys to get back into it, to concede a try in the final seconds of that first half. But I take your mind back to when we received the penalty and Australia had a man sent to the sin bin. I think we did the wrong thing by taking the 2 points. We should have gone for the throat and maybe gone for the 6.
Justin Harris starts the 40 minutes that will decide whether it's Great Britain, Australia, New Zealand, or Great Britain, New Zealand at Ellen Road this time next week in the final of the 2005 Gillette Tri-Nations. And Great Britain need the perfect start. They need the perfect 40 minutes. They need to make every tackle count. They need to make every pass stick, and every try needs to be converted into 6.
I think also the tactics of the British boys have to change. We saw far too much one-out football on that first stanza. And I think the combination, Justin Harris, Richard Horne, they've got to stand a bit wider, maybe miss the man out and get straight across to a pass to Gleeson or Senior. We haven't seen much opportunity for those two centres.
Went backwards from Leon Price. He was fortunate. The whole ground then groaned. Everybody held their breath. Here is Carney. Good offload to Kevin Sinfield, but Sinfield really with nowhere to go.
Good effort. Mark hold.
First time Britain with ball in hand this second half, and maybe crucially Peacock out there again.
Third and again. Trent. Hold. Go.
Mickey Hyam scampers away, and he's gone without it again. Jamie Thackeray. Well, it's not what he would want. It is not what Great Britain's cause needs, because here come Australia again.
It's fundamental skills. You've just got to make sure that you get through them.
Oh, now he's conceded a penalty.
You're off, and you've got your hands
lack
on
of
the ball.
composure.
Out the side.
Furious.
It's the same
all
both
over the
ways,
face of
out
Brian
the side.
Noble, and I think he knows it as well. Just messing around. There you see, you don't have to go and throttle. Give him
You're
a
over
facial.
there, hands on the ball, come out the side. You're
It's the
delaying
little
play of the ball.
things.
Element of frustration there, Steve, I think. I think he was annoyed with himself at mistiming his run, which caused the error. And then, obviously, a couple of tackles later, he's frustrated.
We know what the agenda is on the
give
play
this
of the
guy
ball,
a
don't
kick
we?
at goal at your pedal, because he's almost radar-like with his goal kicking. Very, very good goal kicking indeed, Craig Fitzgibbon.
And when you think about it, John, is the fact that with Australia holding that 6-point lead, they know that Great Britain have to beat them by 3 to make it to the final. So they can just peg away, can the Australians, and know that as the match goes on in the second half, it's going to be the Great Britain will have to test their arm and keep the ball alive and maybe cough up possession or an intercept.
Well, Craig Fitzgibbon, he's about 38 metres away, dead centre, and straight through the crossbar, through the H. No problem. 16-8. And so now, if you think about it, a 3-point victory is required. He's absolutely deadly with the boot, isn't he? A 3-point victory is required. So 16-8, it suddenly becomes 11. It suddenly becomes 2 converted tries. The difference that Great Britain now have to find in this second half. It's not hopeless.
They can't think about that. All they've got to think about is the next set of 6 and going through all the processes and letting the scoreboard look after itself, because we score once, I'll tell you, this stadium will lift and the tempo of the team will lift, and that's just what we need as well. Willie Mason, one of the substitutes there, knocking on there in the collision, 3-man tackle, and Mason's come up with an error, and we're happy with that.
Let's get the half-time news. Chris with the Aussies, Bill with Great Britain.
Very briefly, the news from the British camp, not good. Chev Walker is the latest casualty in a gruelling Tri-Nations campaign. He's got a back injury. Stuart Fielden has had a painkilling injection for his back problem.
On the injury front, no news to report really for the Kangaroos. Craig Gower, it's not a hamstring, it's a quad strain, but he's A-OK. Their key message coming out of the Australian dressing room was keep it tight in the middle and stop the offloads. That's the only time Great Britain have really looked dangerous, is when they've been allowed to offload the ball.
This is a chance for Easton Harris, trying to duck under the challenges. And Mickey Hyam waits at dummy half. Hyam gets the ball back. And nothing there.
Great defence by Australia. You can see that the 2 outside centres, they move up so quickly, they force Britain down that middle channel.
Leon Price. Infield it goes to Easton Harris, and wide to Keith Senior. And Senior taking them on. And still pushing and pumping with the legs, but 3 green and gold jerseys are there. This is the last tackle. And Richard Horne will slide the kick in, but that's a poor kick. It's actually brilliantly read by Anthony Minicello again. Yeah, the best fullback, bar none.
Yeah, without a doubt. He's had a wonderful season as a fullback, Minicello, and it's all about positioning, reading the game. It was well weighted.
Here's Mark O'Mealy, whose try right on the stroke of half-time dented Great Britain's hopes. Craig Wing was the dummy half. And they're coming forward again here. Good hands. This is Matt Cooper. And the winger, well, that seemed to drift forward to Matt King, but touch judge and referee see it a different way. Matt Cooper, dummy half, comes infield to Gower. Gower then on to Trent Barrett. Barrett, good pass. O'Mealy, and takes the return, Barrett. Oh, and it suddenly opened up for him. Good job that Senior just closed it down with Johnson. Last tackle here on halfway. Gower. Kick behind the line, great kick, will turn Rayner around.
That's all they had to do in the second half as well, and the Australians fully aware of it. Oh, good chase. Well, for a man that has had a problem just before the kick-off, Gower has worked overtime.
Well, Gower then was involved in the ruck, and there was no way through that Leon Price, no way that he could make quick ground from the dummy half position there. Here he is again, the British fullback, and Thackeray. Good offload. Hyam comes wide to Sinfield. He escapes the net from Gower, but the looping pass finds Carney. Carney, has he got the pace to get round the outside? Not this time. Comes back infield again. But he's willing, isn't he, Brian Carney?
Certainly is. He's a wonderful upper body strength. He showed that in that first half with that try. Kennedy couldn't believe that as though he'd run into a brick wall.
Good ball. Long ball too from Harris the senior.
More of that, please. That's what we need. Get it out of the ruck area. We need plenty of movement.
Last tackle here now for Great Britain. The kick from Justin Harris, but on the bounce easy for Matt King. And he gets it only as far as Mickey Hyam and Kevin Sinfield.
But Stevo, you talk about the long ball and movement. I agree we need to move the ball about, but it's the short passing, the offloads that we've been most dangerous with. When you throw a long pass out like that, the defence can just move up and move out and close the receiver down, and that's exactly what Australia did to Keith Senior.
Good tackling though here from Morley and Fielden. They're working hard just on Fielden for Thackeray. Did Bill say he had a pain-killing injection at half-time? I think he did. As Willie Mason gets to his feet, plays the ball to Craig Wing. Wing then finds Fitzgibbon. Craig Wing again. Last tackle. They're still inside their own half, so Barrett puts boot to ball. It goes over the top of Gareth Rayner. And that wasn't a 4-20, was it?
No, it was outside the 40 there, between 40 and 50 metre line, but it's still a pretty good kick, and he'll be happy with that because time's eating up, isn't it, whilst the scrum's form. That's why Great Britain now are running. It's a great kick just outside the 40 metre line, but Britain from the leading scrum, they've actually run to the scrum so the referee can stop the clock.
They're working on percentages, Australia, and that's what they'll do. Sure that the kick is very, very good. The defence has been pretty solid from Australia throughout this game.
Loose forward. Okay, in we go.
Referee wanting a loose forward in, so Gasnier was the man who filled that role on that occasion. This is Gleeson.
First, Craig.
Richard Hall. Peacock away from O'Mealy.
I think if Great Britain fail to make any inroads over the next 10-15 minutes, I think it's time maybe that Brian Noble has to do a few changes. Maybe bring Leon Price into the stand.
Great offload from Thackeray, but Horn's passed behind everybody, picked up by Rayner. Gareth Rayner. Ooh, he thought about the offload as well. Leon Price. Justin Harris attacking the line. Short ball to Kevin Sinfield. Harris again. This time a chip over the top, but Minicello is just so easy for him.
Yeah. And again, position was quite superb, but not the best. Ooh, they got away with it there. Very slow at the dummy half position.
It's interesting, the two contrast styles getting out of their half. Australia on about the third ruck. They used the width of the pass by Gower and Barrett to get on the outside of Great Britain, where Great Britain are more a to and through side, using their big forwards and hoping to cut them offload. Here, Barrett again showing up with the centres.
Oh, great run, great speed here from the winger, Beren Tate. Oh, and another tackle been missed, and Brent Tate's on his way to the line, and Brent Tate will score for Australia. Missed tackles deep inside the Australian half of the field. I don't know what the referee is looking for.
Just check the touchline.
He just wants to check whether there was a foot in touch on the line. Down the outside. But Brent Tate with all the speed in the world. And this could be the try that finishes Great Britain's hopes.
Tremendous effort, though. The way he just spun out of the tackle from the fullback Leon Price. No doubt about it. Good half a metre inside. And they've fallen for the sucker punch yet again. Remember, just before half-time, they came from deep within their own half. Australia, they've done it exactly the same thing. They've caught them out wide. As soon as he committed himself, beautiful way that he fended the fullback away. This is a classic try from Tate.
Have a look where it come from again there, Steve. I'm sure that it's going to come up try here.
No doubt about that. And the referee, to be fair to him, he said from the angle he was looking at, it looked a lot closer than that, and he just wanted the video referee to make a quick check.
They take the gamble. Remember that try, as I mentioned, O'Mealy just before it. Look, they'll give it width out wide there. Senior committed himself.
But it's the quality of the pass, and how flat and direct it is. And the players are running on the outside, trying to, where you've got the defender square on, they're getting onto his outside shoulder. And that's where they've been very dominant, Australia, with Gower and especially Barrett. The quality of his pass and width has really caused problems. And getting away from that impact area where Great Britain is strong.
And what about the balance from Tate? as the fullback came to him. His body just swerved, handed off. Quite superb.
Fitzgibbon adds the extras, and it suddenly becomes a massive total for Great Britain now. 22 points to 8. Remember, they have to beat Australia by 3 points to get there. But Brent Tate's try almost has seen Australia through to a meeting with the Kiwis at Ellen Road next week.
I must say, when we had the shots inside the dressing room, just as they were about to restart, it wasn't a very good, well, let's say the body language wasn't excellent. It looked a little bit down, and it's taken the man in the air.
Penalty to Australia. Yep. The man was tackled in the air.
Back on the ground, and he was took.
But the last 2 tries for Australia, Eddie, I mean, there have been sensational examples of rugby league. You saw the try from O'Meara, which was there's a wing being tackled in the air there from the short kick-off, and it's given Australia that field position. But the first try from O'Meara was great skill from the prop, where he juggled with the ball. It was short passing, playing through on the inside, and then that was playing through on the outside. An absolutely sensational wing play from Brent Tate, who got on the outside of Keith Steen. So the array of skill that the Australians are demonstrating is awesome.
This is O'Meara. And Craig Wing is the dummy half. They go wide and find Gower. Gower's short ball. McDonnell. And well, Morley got to him, and Morley's beginning to lose his rag a bit. Wing, Gower.
They went for each other.
Barrett back on the inside. This is Minicello, flicks the pass away. They somehow hang on to it. The ball to the corner, looking for the wingman, and it beat Matt King and Brian Carney. Well, the referee wants a word with both Adrian Morley and Luke O'Donnell.
It's all right, I'm talking
no doubt about it. They're just a bit of
minute.
handbags at 5 paces.
All right, listen.
Nothing much in it.
Well, let's just get on with it.
A lot worse than what it was.
Okay. Get on
Calm
with it.
down,
Okay.
said the official.
Great Britain head and feet.
Well, they didn't get too close to each other there when the referee was talking to them.
He was allowed to do that. Nothing in it really, but it was silly how O'Donnell went looking for him. I think the message will go out from Wayne Bennett, the Australian coach, say, hey, come on, we're leading 22-8. Let them get frustrated, not us.
Look at the speed,
flying in.
The speed of the defensive line is sensational, isn't it, from Australia?
John, I made the point before the kick-off that Britain had to do exactly that. You know, you can't allow the likes of Gazner and Cooper much space to room, but the way that the Australians are coming in on the angle, they're forcing Britain down just one side of the pitch.
Well, we've complimented Great Britain all through the Tri-Nation about the goal forward with the forward pack, but this Australian defensive line is taking all the space.
Here comes Peacock now for Great Britain to halfway. That's the 5th. The kick has to be good, and it's with Sinfield. At least it's away from Minicello, but straight into the arms of Brent Tate, who's just scored a 3/4 length of the field try. And O'Donnell and Morley clashing again.
Second.
They've had to go through a lot of work of Britain in the defensive area, and when it comes to the final quarter of this game, you sort of fear perhaps that they may run out of petrol.
And don't forget also, it's Great Britain's 4th successive, very tough, very hard test match in as many weeks. No Darren Lockyer for Australia, the man who destroyed them in the Tri-Nations final last year. It doesn't seem to matter, though, who they interchange for Lockyer or Andrew Johns. They just produce more great players who come here and do the job. But Leon Price, Gower with the tackle.
Little doubt the Australians
That's a penalty.
That's got to be a penalty. Just saying, Eddie, little doubt that they've got more depth than what we have.
Leon.
Well, there's one or two people, and one up here who has actually advocated a reduction, a drastic reduction in the overseas players in the Super League. That's Ian Millward I'm talking about. And a lot of people in are beginning to agree with you. Until the overseas players and the numbers are cut down in the Super League, the young British talent will not get its chance.
Well, the young British talent, there's plenty of it. They've beaten Australia in the under-18s and schoolboys over the last couple of years. First time 3 years in a row, and it was 20 years before that. So there's plenty there. The competition in Super League is outstanding, but there's too many probably imports, which is affecting the international game. And until that's addressed, the pool for Brian Noble won't be big enough to call on.
Yeah, absolutely. Here to that. This is Cunningham. He has emerged, maybe. Oh, and the pass wasn't bad, but just couldn't take the pass in. Gareth Ellis. So Australia have got it back. Oh, and he's been done there. Ellis, what a wonderful stepping run from Matt Cooper that was.
Anybody watching this game, it's like a masterclass in fullback play, though, isn't it, from Anton Minichiello? Absolutely sensational on his positional play, feeling the kick and setting up counter-attacks.
There he is, the Australian fullback. It's his 18th cap tonight. And here is Willie Mason. Now it's with Ben Kennedy. And he thought about the offload. Badiris and Sivanasiva.
That looked high from Morley.
And Sivanasiva would agree with you. Badiris again. This is Gower. Gower gets the ball away to Fitzgibbon, and Fitzgibbon loses it under pressure, and Brian Carney has it for Great Britain. But they just muscle up and come back in numbers.
Yeah, they certainly do. The two second rows, Donald, Fitzgibbon especially, and Kennedy, even the loose forward, quite happy to run out wide, just intermix with the centres. A little bit of overconfidence there from Fitzgibbon, trying to get through the man and then around him with a pass.
Richard Horne. Offload was risky, but Cunningham turned it into a good pass.
Surrender.
But Britain have got a chance their arm, and there's no, you know, the 22-8 down. They've got to have a go.
Yeah, they've got to, when they reach the defensive line, they've got to start twisting and turning and look for the second phase. But it hasn't been all that brilliant tonight.
And Gleeson.
The support player's got to improve, and that's the question.
This is Leon Price. Now it's Peacock. Peacock gets the ball away. That's great stuff. This is Gareth Ellis. He stands and gets the ball away, and fingertips. Gleeson held on to it.
Well, I made the point that Leon Price had to inject himself. He's doing that now.
Here he is. And the pass not the best. Lost momentum, but Fielden has it for Great Britain. Now then, Johnson stabs the kick through. Badiris picks it up for Australia.
Classy play by the hooker there. Best hookers in the world, you'll find that they'll just sweep up behind the first line of defence just to take anything like that.
Captain of his country tonight, Danny Badiris, 12th cap he has won against Great Britain. He's only lost 2 of the previous 11. This is Ellis in the tackle.
The amazing thing also is that normally the crowd here, they're so excited, aren't they? But they're just sort of sitting back now and saying it looks a lost cause. I think the fans realise that.
Well, Great Britain need to try to lift everybody.
Yeah.
And more importantly, to lift themselves. Gower, the pass wide, Barrett. And here is Gaznia, and a kick down the line. And Leon Price does well, reads the script, but look at the chase, look at the enthusiastic chase, but he escapes Trent Waterhouse. That's a good run from Leon Price.
He's had a big game.
Well, that's lifted the crowd a bit.
Second. Square. Go.
Rayner will be feeling the pinch. Hasn't played for over 6 weeks. Carney, dummy half. Well, he's not done bad, has he, considering that he came off in the first half last week after his second try, and we thought he'd tweaked a hamstring. Here's Peacock. Bump. Bangs away from Gower. Desperate Jamie Peacock to lead a winning British team here tonight. Cunningham and Harris. A drifted kick over the top. Minichiello, look at the way he picks it up. Hits the ball at pace. And escapes the tackles one after another. Good job that Senior got there in the end. Here's Badiris down the short side. Badiris! Again another tackle, and a good one from Senior.
Wonderful work from the hooker. You could see that the British defence was all at sea. Took it quick on that blind side. Oh, there's danger here.
Gower, though, is halted by Leon Price. Minicello waits the dummy half. Nearly got an elbow in the face from Craig Gower then. Now it's with Ben Kennedy. Kennedy thinking about the offload, gets the offload away to Medeiros, and they've got men on the outside. This is O'Donnell, Senior doing well in defence again. 3 very important tackles from Keith Senior. Medeiros, they go down the short side. Barrett, Gasnier, they've missed him. They've got over the line, Gasnier, and Australia. Well, what's this for?
Check the obstructions if there was an Australian obstruction to allow them.
But the official is not confident.
I wonder if he's trying to find a reason not to give the try.
Everything looks okay there. No one was taken out. It's over the top there.
Well, the pass was in front of the player, Steve. It didn't go behind the player, so...
Well, he can't go to the
It's Waterhouse, number 17.
No, he's going for obstruction. He wants enough. Number 17, Waterhouse, is obstructed. He's only followed for the play. He hasn't gone looking for anyone. Look, at the end of the day, it's a missed tackle by 2 players, especially Horn. You can't reward a player for a missed tackle.
No, Cunningham really made no attempt to just push him out of the way. I mean, you can see he's just at the side there. I mean, it's virtually stopped. This will be a try.
I think we can all start thinking about an Australia-New Zealand Tri-Nations final in 7 days' time.
Well, the Kiwis are flying back from France as we speak. No doubt the message will have been relayed through the cockpit, perhaps, as they fly way above the English Channel, and they will be cock-a-hoop, because I can assure you that Britain will not be coming back from this. It was just slack defence, very poor. They're very tired, extremely wounded, I'm afraid. He's a lion at the moment, but the kangaroo, it's hopping all over the joint.
Any issues, I mean?
Well, Gasnier, a legendary name in the sport in Australia. His test debut against Papua New Guinea in 2001. Incredibly, he had to wait 4 more years for his second test cap. That really indicates the strength in depth that Australia have to offer. Craig Gower takes over the goal-kicking responsibilities, and he misses. Great Britain trail, though, by 26 points to 8. And I think a number of Great Britain supporters know the dream is over for another year. You know, none of this squad was born when Great Britain last beat Australia twice in the same series. That was 1970. Frank Myler led the British Lions down under and won the Ashes. And Brian Noble himself wasn't born when it last happened on home soil. That was in 1959.
And all those stats that you talk about, Eddie, is one thing that Wayne Bennett has made sure that this current Australian side is aware of. So it's a fear factor. They don't want to be that side. And eventually it will happen, or we hope anyway. I hope it happens in my lifetime.
I was going to say, will we be alive?
I'm going to say I'm running out.
Well, the Australians now will probably give the ball plenty of air, and they maybe give us even more to drool over. It's Matt King. And King, the way they ride the tackles, they keep the legs going, they keep driving the ball forward, they make it that few more vital extra meters. This is Waterhouse.
Well, even at 26 points to 8, you can see that there's a lot of constructive play by the Australians. It's not just individual stuff. They're still going to the game plan.
Look at another high kick here, claimed by Gareth Rayner. Senior, the dummy half. Richard Horn. And Gareth Ellis. He had such a big game last week against the Kiwis. This series comes at the end of a very long domestic season. I know we're searching for excuses maybe for Great Britain. We're talking about the number of overseas players in our Super League competition that doesn't give Brian Noble the depth of talent really that should be at his disposal. And it does come at the end of a long season in Australia as well.
They're very tired, you're right, Eddie, but you can't take anything away from the quality that has been displayed by the Australian side.
Not at all. Not at all.
The defence has been solid, they've worked as a unit, and at times Great Britain have, but not throughout the series. You've got to do it for the full 80 minutes.
I hope one player's recognised, Eddie, when they hand out the Man of Match awards, and that's Craig Gower. It's not since late August. He's Penrith Panthers didn't make the playoffs. He has only played the one warm-up game in France. And the decision by Bennett needs to be applauded because he had 5 changes to this team, some enforced to him by injury, but he picked the team on form. And this is why Australia won't take their foot off the pedal, because they know with Steve Price and a couple other players, they're not here tonight because Bennett said, look, we're going to make some changes because I want the best team every week. And he needs to be congratulated on his decision-making.
He certainly has. I spoke to Wayne Bennett on Thursday and asked him that same question, why he brought Gower in, and he said he's a fighter. He will not give in. He's a battler, and he's done that.
Badiris to Barrett and Waterhouse. Cunningham leaping to make the tackle. That's the last one for Australia. There's Badiris. Here is the battler, Gower. The kick through, and Leon Price picks it up.
Well, the work that Price has done, he doesn't deserve to be on the losing side. He lost it. That was a bad play the ball there by the fullback. I put the mocker on him.
Steve, everyone wants Great Britain to score tries, and to do that, they're going to have to take some chances with great errors. But the other thing they need is field position. If you look at the time clock, when was the last time they had a concentrated time in the opposition half? And this is why Australia is so dominant at the moment. They're just dominating everything, but field positions are number one key.
Wing gets the ball away to Gasnier. Gasnier. Justin Harris just had a swat at him, really, and Gareth Ellis has to come in and complete the tackle. Well, some tired young men out there.
Australia are playing, you know, come and catch me. They're slowing the game down. They're wanting to play at their pace. And they're coming in ones and twos at Great Britain. Some are going up, some are hanging back. It's a good sign of tiredness, that's for sure, in defence.
This is Sivanasiva. They've flooded forward here, the green and gold. This is Craig Wing. Well, it is just an optical illusion. There seems twice as many green and gold jerseys on the field at the moment as white and blue, as Riles tries to take on Morley. Morley, though, got to him. They're only 5 metres away, though, Australia. This is Badiris. It comes to Barrett. He flew out of the line, then made the tackle. He still managed to get the ball away, though. Wing, and that is too deep. Let's get some injury news, Chris, with the Aussies.
Yeah, I just spoke to Craig Gower. Actually, he's gone into the changing room. He won't be coming back out tonight. It's more precautionary than anything else. It is a right quadricep strain. I hate to bring out the crystal ball, but there has not been one occasion this year where the Kangaroos have won a match and Anthony Minichiello has not scored a try.
Thanks for that, Chris. Just what we needed to hear. Oh. Well, they're trying to force the pace. They have to force the pace, but...
they're very tired, Eddie. Even though they're twisting in the tackle, trying to offload, there's just not the energy within this Great Britain camp, and I think the writing is well and truly on the wall. And as soon as the fact that, remember the three-quarter run try by Tate, a nice handoff on Price, I think that just about sealed it.
Hate to say it, but there are still 13 minutes left to play.
Yeah.
26-8. What we don't want is an embarrassing scoreline.
There will be tries, Eddie, because they've had to do too much tackling and they haven't had possession in the opposition half. There will be tries. Be on red alert.
Sivanasiva.
Well, it'll be the inside pass again, won't it? Keep your eye out for that fullback, Minichiello.
This is Barrett. Here is Wing.
There it was.
Well, there was a British player then impeded, and the referee saw it.
No knock on, and he was pulled back by Trent Barrett.
Trent Barrett pulled Adrian Morley back, so Great Britain have a penalty, and that's a relieving penalty from Mr. Ganson.
Good work there by Richard Horne. He knew that the inside pass was on. Minichiello just a little bit too early. Ball went to ground.
Justin Harris. Short ball, Johnson.
At 26-8. 68 minutes already gone. We've just got to keep spinning. Maybe do something different. Maybe run the angle for a change. Seen many dummy runners from the red, white and blue tonight.
Forwards have played well throughout this series.
You can't knock them for effort, but I'm afraid effort won't always win you anything.
Cunningham. Gareth Ellis. Little space here. Ball went backwards. Oh, and it's back to one, and the tackle counts. If Great Britain heard it, O'Carney ran straight into his own player then, and Kieran Cunningham almost made a tackle on him. But it's another set of 6 here for Great Britain. And Cunningham, Kieran Cunningham, being forced back by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green and gold jerseys. Carney, Leon Price, Richard Hall, tackled by Waterhouse. Amazing fact, you know, about Kieran Cunningham, 15th cap tonight, just 1 try for his country. And you think of the number of tries he scores in Super League from 2 and 3 metres out, and from great runs from 10-15 metres away.
To be fair, he's created 5 for Great Britain in this series.
He has. I'm talking about as a try scorer.
Yeah.
Here's Harris absolutely enveloped by the defence.
It's tremendous defence, isn't it? And not only that, it's that this 2, 3, sometimes 4 make sure that there's no offload.
Oh, Richard Hall on the ball. Well, they got away with it again because Peacock appeared to knock the ball backwards, but it's the last tackle, and they've lost ground. And Horn slides the kick through. Now then, there's work for them to do here. Tackle missed. Tackle missed. Great run from Matt King.
Surrender!
He's had a great series, hasn't he?
The crowd are booing, and I hate to say it, but I think they are directing their wrath at Iestyn Harris.
Go.
He missed a tackle there behind his own line, and his kick earlier was greeted with a storm of boos as well, and that's unfortunate to hear.
Hold.
What a great effort, though, from the Australians, Eddie, because with that there, he endeavoured to get out of the in-goal area.
Now then, this is Harris. Harris stabs the ball on again. Well, he's tackled without the ball there. That's got to be a penalty, Great Britain, under the sticks.
Surely.
It's got to be. And he's looking for a penalty try now.
It's got to be.
Look at the validity of penalty try.
Well, some of the things we've seen this series, I wouldn't rule it out.
Well, he really didn't have to offload, did he, Willie Mason? What a 26-8. He certainly pulled back.
I don't think you can say for 100% he's going to score a try. So I don't think you can give a penalty try, Steve-O. John?
I think you can give a penalty, but not a penalty try, because it's got to be in the act of scoring. And you can't, I agree with you totally, Eddie, you can't say for certain Iestyn Harris would have retrieved the ball and put it over the whitewash.
In all probability, he would.
But that's not the case. If he'd been in the in-goal area, yes, they would have given the penalty try. No doubt about it. He's been pulled back.
The interesting thing here is going down to pick the ball up. He wasn't going to toe it ahead.
No, he's pulled back there. That's.
I think I've just heard Mr. Ganson say it's Barrett, I think, and he's on his way to the sin bin if this is a penalty.
Professional foul, and rightly so.
I'm glad Trent Barrett's not played on minutes tonight. This will be his 2nd time in there.
Well,
the crowd are chanting off. Directed towards Trent Barrett. But
there's many people in rugby league think that if you get 2 yellow cards in a game, you should go. Just like they do in soccer.
I think it's very harsh. I think Barrett there is obviously playing at the ball.
Yeah, I agree. It's a professional foul. It's a penalty.
No try, penalty attack.
Well, let's see what Dave Campbell's decision is. It is no try. It's a penalty kick to the attack.
Number 6.
And he's going to send him to the bin. Trent Barrett is going to play no further part in this match. And he just smiles ruefully. Well, it'll keep him a bit fresher for the final.
This will help his after-dinner speaking career, because he could say he wanted to get an early shower. With 9 minutes to go, he's not back on. Cold night. I can see the talk when he's 40 back in Wollongong in Australia.
Well, he'll be the first in the shower, that's for sure, won't he?
Well, that's the 2nd time tonight he's been in the bin. Can Great Britain turn this into something then? Gareth Ellis.
They'll be there. He had the chance to offload, but again, the second phase was missing.
Cunningham. It's Harris. And the pass made Fielden halt, and Gasnier was all over him. Here's Harris again. Over the top. Senior on the bounce. Rayner missed. Drop ball.
Not coming grounding.
We'll go to the screen just to make sure. Rayner hoping that this could be his first.
Rayner reckons he scored it, Steve-O. He's got up and told his teammates he scored it.
Nah, he hasn't. No in the world. No in the world has he got any control over this ball at all. There you see. None whatsoever,
Got to remember it's his first test, so we obviously
I was hoping that he could. If it had been a little bit closer, he may have had the sympathy vote, but you don't have that in international rugby league football, or rugby league in general.
But I hope no one will say after this that the referee was trying to find reasons to deny Australia tries and trying to find reasons for giving Great Britain tries, John.
No, I mean, that was obviously a no try. No controls, just trying to put the ball.
Well, we're 100 yards away from it and it was no try.
No, you could see it, and you know, you've got to admire the Aussies. As I was saying before, they're trying to get out of the in-goal area as if it's a very intense and tight game. And the scrambling in defence as if it means a lot to them. They've got real pride in the defence. And I think we talked about the great work from the Great Britain pack, but they really have restricted our go forward, and they've won that battle.
They have. Injury news from Chris with Australia.
Yeah, Eddie, the scoreboard looks good for the Aussies, doesn't it? But off the field, things aren't quite going great for them. Craig Gower, as I said, won't return. Now, Luke O'Donnell has injured his lower right leg. He won't take any further part in the game. And, of course, Barrett again in the bin.
Thanks, Chris. All of concern to Wayne Bennett for next week's Tri-Nations final. Here is Willie Mason.
I hate to say it again, Eddie, but, you know, early in this second half, the game became a fizzer, didn't it? You could see there that the Great Britain side were extremely tired. They've worked hard, take nothing away their effort. But
it's too deep, that kick.
It's just been basic rugby league football by Australia.
Yes, you can't knock the industry, no. But Wayne Bennett, well, it's another feather in the cap for him. 18 years with the Broncos, the longevity just goes on and on and on. That's a bit like Sir Alex Ferguson in football with Man United here. Wayne Bennett over there, and the British supporters on their way out of the KC Stadium. Difficult place to get away from with a big crowd, and they're heading for the motorway. But Great Britain, with Mickey Hyam on the field, will not give it up easily. And the ball in field is Richard Horne. Richard Horne for Great Britain under the sticks. And you know, that's one of the best tries Britain has scored in this series. And Mickey Hyam came up with a little run, a little fizzing run, second time tonight. And he's created a try for Richard Horne.
Well, he did it in the first half, didn't he? Great work by Peacock. Not many offloads we've seen from the forwards tonight, but Mickey Hyam kept his composure. Good support play from Richard Horne. Well, the local crowd will enjoy that. They've already seen a few moments ago that the winger Rayner denied the try, and then the offload. And he has given his all, this fella, Mickey Hyam. Can't ask for more than that. Split the defence. Mere consolation.
Well, you might say that, but I'll tell you something. Great Britain were in an awful rush to make that conversion safe. Richard Horne's try turns it into 6, and it's Australia who are just plodding up now to the halfway line. Great Britain have got to score 16 more points. I know it's probably a lost cause, but in sport, Steve-O, anything can happen. There's injuries, there's a man down, they've got 12 against them. Where's that straw? Let me clutch it.
Eddie, my hair will grow back before that occurs, sadly to say.
5 minutes to go.
It means we've basically got to score every set of 6 we get the ball.
Yeah. And, I don't think the Australians are going to allow that.
And I'm reminded, of course, rightly, that Australia got 5 in the last, got 12 points in the last 5 minutes at Wigan a fortnight ago. And when this fella's on the field, Hyam to Carney. And Harris just steps away from Medeiros, and they've got the man on the overlap wide, and it's Senior. And Senior comes back inside and finds Paul Johnson. And Johnson loses the ball.
Well, that was unfortunate. It ricocheted away there on O'Mealy, and it did go backward. Good decision by Steve Ganson, the referee.
This is Gaznia.
Because when they were making the breaks there, I had a tingle on the head.
As long as it was only on your head.
Yep.
Here's O'Mealy.
Second. Ball, Mickey. Go.
This now is Riles.
Ooh,
his head went back. Yes, it was high from Peacock.
Didn't miss him either.
Bit high that, mate. He's 6 foot on. All right.
Well, they know that they've been beaten by a very, very good side.
Well, they continue to produce very good sides.
Yeah, they do, and they've got
names change.
Yeah.
And it just goes on and on. The green and gold machine.
I keep saying, Eddie, the quarterback in rugby league is your halves. And
they failed to get the kick in the touch.
My word. They're human after all, these fellas. Here's Hyam. And Horne again, but Minicello stops him on halfway.
What a good tackle. That was a ball and all tackle. He slowed the play the ball down there, Minicello, with that great technique.
Well, that was risky. That was it was far too risky, the whole business then.
Well, you've got to do that.
Well, there's only 3.5 minutes to go, Eddie. Can't die wondering now.
No, but Senior wondered, and Senior just offloaded there. Rayner just a little bit in front.
The scoreline, though, at 26-14, it's respectable.
Yeah, but they come here to win, Eddie. Everyone wanted to win, and the Australians, I keep coming back to Australia's advantage. Yeah, they've got more options, they've got a lot more subtlety in their attack. The halves are dominant, the halves are direct, the halves get nowhere to run, and that's the difference at the moment, where Great Britain don't have anyone in that spot who can do all those equations.
And not only that, it is that they have controlled this game, haven't they? When they needed to, they've had the ability to just close it down and then get in a good field position.
Less than 3 minutes to go. The green and golds with ball in hand and Badeiros. Badeiros then to Craig Wing, and here is Willie Mason. Well, he'll be fresh, as I say. He's only played 9 appearances this year for the Canterbury Bulldogs, and he really does thrive on the international stage, this fellow. Sivanasiva. Australia looking just to finish it off in the last couple of minutes here. Can Great Britain stand firm? 12-point defeat, no disgrace. Minicello, though, and this is Cooper. He's put the ball down. Minicello retains possession for Australia. They've lost a bit of momentum, though. That's the last one.
Will they go to Rayner's wing? Certainly looks that way.
Craig Wing. Oh, he jinks away. And
turnover.
Good tackling. It's the turnover. 2 minutes to go. Last hurrah for Great Britain, maybe, with Richard Horne and Senior. Well, so it's Australia-New Zealand now in the Tri-Nations final next Saturday at 5:30.
Well,
it's live on Sky Sports 1. I remember last year we went to Elland Road and we had so much hope, and it all disintegrated in 20 minutes. Steve-O, at least we can sit back and enjoy fast-flowing, wonderful international rugby league without a care in the world. We won't mind who wins.
Well, we shouldn't have a care in the world, depending who's out there.
I know, but you know, hang on.
I'm with you, yeah, but
we've had 15 years of cheering for Great Britain.
Is it that long? Anyway, full credit to them. Look, we've seen some wonderful rugby league football, and you know, the British crowd will be happy with it. I know it's been a subdued sort of feeling.
Ball's come free there. Got to be brought back.
What are you giving?
I'm just saying, it's been a subdued feeling all the second half, you know, that I've never seen. KC Stadium, normally it's just, well, it's in uproar, and it's just...
Ian, there's a young man who is now unemployed this time next week. I don't know which one of you want to vacate the chair, but I think you'll both be with us. We will not change our team for the final, and well, I bet we get Clarkey involved at some stage. We'd probably put him down on the touchline with Bill and Chris, or we'll have him doing something.
Punishment on a cold, wet night.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Peacock. You know, the forwards, they deserve a badge of courage the way that they have played in this series, the British forwards. All right, they've come up against a better team today, but they have never stopped and never given it up. It's just behind them that we've had a few problems, and Brian Noble knows his international series is about to come to an end. Next time the ball is dead, that is it, and Carney knows that. He hoists it wide and high, and the ball finds its way. Oh, hang on. No. That'll do. It's all over. The referee says that'll do. Game over. Australia are through to the Tri-Nations final. And Gareth Rayner limping away, holding his shin. It's a little bit of an alarm for John Keir. But Brian Noble, the Great Britain team, their international adventure in 2005 comes to an end, and John Keir staying here and pointing at the screen. He's on his feet, your man.
Yeah, I just think he's cramped up, to tell you the truth. That is first game in 7 weeks now. I think he's done quite well out there for Great Britain, but the best team, the Australians, I thought they were absolutely sensational defensively and very, very creative with ball in hand. It's been a great performance by the green and golds once again.
Absolutely, it's something we say year on year on year. It will take a very special team to stop them. And maybe the New Zealanders, on their way back from their match with France last night, maybe they believe that they are the team to do it. They've already beaten Australia in Sydney for the first time in 46 years, and now they get the chance to beat them at Ellen Road in Leeds this time next Saturday night. A great side, though, from Australia. Year on year, they produce wonderful teams. People like Minicello, Craig Wing comes off the bench, Craig Gower, Trent Barrett. 1 to 17, they are a very useful unit. And Great Britain have come up short again, beaten here by 26 points to 14. So now the question's been answered. It is Australia against New Zealand in the Tri-Nations final next week. Full house here to see Australia beat Great Britain 26 points to 14. The man of the match was the Australian fullback Anthony Minicello. We're going to hear from him and Chris Warren in a moment, but first let's see him receive his award from Steve Newton from Gillette.
Well, Anthony, firstly, well done. A big performance by the team. An amazing back line you're in.
It is. You know, it's a great side that they've picked this year. I think when we come away, everyone was fully fit to get picked, and you can see how the boys play. We did well tonight, but we've got one more to go now.
Of course, you got on without Darren Lockyer. I know you and Darren combined so well. It's the third halves pairing you've had, in fact, in the series. It worked pretty well, though. Craig Gower, carrying a bit of an injury, performed well. Yeah, I think all the players that are on the sidelines ready to play, they fit in straight away, you know. Baz got a couple of 10 minutes in a row tonight, but, you know, I'll look forward to working with him again next week, and, you know, it should be fun. Anthony, I know